As we step into November 2025, the Western Hemisphere is on the verge of a significant and dynamic weather transformation. This isn't just a typical seasonal change. Meteorologists are tracking a dramatic shift that will impact millions of people from the tropics all the way to the Arctic Circle. The atmosphere is setting the stage for a week of extremes, with weather patterns colliding in ways that could bring both disruption and awe. In the Caribbean and Central America, communities are bracing for several days of relentless, heavy rainfall. The skies have already darkened, and forecasters warn that the rain will be persistent, with the potential to cause flash flooding and landslides in vulnerable areas. Rivers are rising, and emergency services are on high alert as the region prepares for what could be one of the wettest starts to November in recent memory. Meanwhile, further north, Canada and the United States are gearing up for the arrival of the season's first major Arctic front. This powerful surge of cold air will sweep across the northern states and provinces, bringing with it the first significant snowfall of the season. Residents will feel a sharp drop in temperatures, and for many, this will be the first real taste of winter, complete with icy winds and frosty mornings. What's truly remarkable is how these two extremes, tropical moisture surging in from the south and a powerful cold front pressing down from the north, are interacting. The cold air acts like a barrier, forcing warm, moisture-laden air to rise rapidly. This collision not only amplifies rainfall in the south but also sets the stage for intense weather events, including thunderstorms and possibly even early-season snow squalls in the transition zone. For the southern regions, this setup means a heightened risk of flooding. Urban areas, already saturated from previous storms, could see streets turn into rivers, while rural communities may face overflowing streams and washed-out roads. The threat of landslides will be especially high in mountainous terrain, making travel and daily life challenging for many. In the north, the story is all about winter's early arrival. People will be scraping ice from windshields, bundling up in heavy coats, and adjusting to slippery sidewalks and snow-covered roads. For some, it's an exciting preview of the season ahead. For others, it's a reminder to prepare homes and vehicles for the colder months. This dramatic weather pattern is expected to dominate the region for at least the next week. The impacts will be far-reaching, affecting everything from air travel, where delays and cancellations are likely, to agriculture, as farmers contend with soggy fields and early frosts. Communities across the hemisphere will need to stay alert and adapt quickly to changing conditions. In this forecast, we'll break down exactly where the heaviest rain is expected to fall, highlighting the areas most at risk for flooding and severe weather. We'll also look at how these patterns could shift in the coming days, and what that means for local communities. We'll examine just how cold it's going to get, with a close look at temperature drops, wind chills, and the potential for record-breaking lows in some regions. If you're wondering when to expect the first hard freeze or how to prepare for the cold, we've got you covered. And with hurricane season still active, we'll discuss what this major weather shift means for tropical storm development. Could the influx of cold air help shut down the season early, or will lingering warmth in the tropics keep the risk alive? We'll explore the latest forecasts and what to watch for in the weeks ahead. So let's walk through the forecast, region by region, to help you stay informed and prepared for this major weather change. Whether you're facing rain, snow, or a mix of both, we'll make sure you know what to expect and how to stay safe in the days to come. The most urgent concern right now is the significant surge of tropical moisture that's rapidly building in the atmosphere. This surge is being closely monitored by meteorologists, as it has the potential to bring widespread impacts across the region. This system is targeting the Caribbean and Central America, setting the stage for a major soaking rain event that could affect millions of people in the coming days. Heavy, prolonged downpours are expected, especially in Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the islands of San Andres and Providencia. These areas are likely to experience intense rainfall rates, with storms lingering for hours at a time, leading to rapid water accumulation and localized flooding. Costa Rica and Panama will also see a dramatic spike in rainfall, with some areas facing up to 250 millimeters, 10 inches, over the next 10 days. This is well above the seasonal average, and could overwhelm rivers, streams, and urban drainage systems, increasing the risk of flash floods. With the ground already saturated from previous rains, even moderate additional rainfall could trigger dangerous flooding and landslides, especially in mountainous regions where the terrain is steep and vulnerable. Communities in these areas should be particularly cautious, as landslides can occur with little warning. The rain will be fueled by unusually warm Caribbean waters and a broad area of low pressure, both of which are ideal conditions for the development of widespread thunderstorms. These storms can be slow-moving, dumping large amounts of rain over the same locations for extended periods. Infrastructure and agriculture are at risk, with roads, bridges, and farmlands potentially facing significant damage. Residents, especially those in flood-prone or low-lying areas, should start preparing now by securing property, gathering emergency supplies, and making evacuation plans if necessary. The main threat isn't just the sheer amount of rain, but how long it lasts. Several days of relentless downpours could lead to cumulative impacts, with water levels rising steadily and flooding becoming more widespread as the event continues. Stay alert to local advisories and weather updates as this event unfolds. Early warnings and community preparedness can make a crucial difference in staying safe during this prolonged and potentially dangerous rain event. Rainfall is set to build gradually over the weekend, with showers becoming more frequent and intense as the days progress. The heaviest downpours are expected to peak early next week, bringing a significant change to the region's weather pattern. By Saturday, November 8th, showers and thunderstorms will become more widespread, especially around Honduras, the Cayman Islands, and Jamaica. These areas will see a noticeable uptick in storm activity, with rain spreading steadily across much of the Caribbean basin. As we move into Monday and Tuesday, the rain will intensify further, bringing the heaviest and most widespread downpours of the event. Many communities will experience relentless rainfall, making travel and outdoor activities challenging. Flood risks will be highest in Belize, where saturated ground and persistent rain could quickly lead to waterlogged streets and rising streams. Nicaragua and Costa Rica will also be at risk, with heavy rain threatening to cause flash flooding and localized inundation. Panama is expected to see similar conditions as stormy weather sweeps across the country, impacting both urban and rural areas. The Bahamas, Cuba, and Haiti are not exempt from this wet pattern, and the Dominican Republic will also experience significant downpours, with periods of heavy rain likely to disrupt daily life and increase the risk of flooding. In the Eastern Caribbean, islands like Guadeloupe and Martinique will see rain chances climb steadily, with showers becoming more frequent as the weekend approaches. St. Lucia will also see rain chances rise to around 60% by the weekend. Farther south, Barbados and Grenada are bracing for periods of heavy rain and gusty winds. Trinidad and Tobago will not be spared, as the system brings persistent downpours and the potential for waterlogged roads and localized flooding. This is shaping up to be a multi-day event. Showers and thunderstorms will linger through much of the week, keeping the ground saturated and making it difficult for floodwaters to recede. Flash flooding is possible at any time, especially in low-lying or poorly drained areas, where water can rise quickly with little warning. The risk will be greatest during the peak early next week, when rainfall rates are expected to be at their highest, and drainage systems may struggle to keep up. Prepare for several days of unsettled wet conditions across the region, and stay alert for updates as the situation evolves. While the tropics get drenched, North America faces a powerful Arctic front plunging south from Canada. This front will bring the first major snowfall of the season to parts of Canada and the Great Lakes, signaling winter's arrival. Temperatures will drop well below freezing, with the cold air reaching as far south as Texas, Louisiana, and even northern Mexico by early next week. The contrast between warm, moist air in the south and frigid air in the north is driving this dynamic pattern. The cold front will also help lift tropical moisture, intensifying rain in the Caribbean. For many, this will be the coldest air since last winter, a sudden sharp shift. Prepare for travel disruptions, especially in snow-prone areas. The arrival of this cold air marks a major seasonal transition. Let's break down the rain forecasts by region. Eastern Caribbean islands like Guadeloupe, Dominica, and St. Lucia will see over 50 millimeters of rain, with chances rising to 60% by Saturday. Farther south, Barbados, Grenada, and Trinidad and Tobago could see over 75 millimeters and a very wet weekend. Jamaica, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic will see increasing rain chances, with the Dominican Republic reaching 50% by Saturday. Central America, especially Belize, Costa Rica, and Panama, faces the highest flood risk as the main moisture plume settles in. Even Bermuda and the northern Leeward Islands will see rain chances rise as the pattern becomes more unsettled. The trend is clear. Widespread significant rainfall is coming. Monitor local forecasts for the latest updates. With this major weather shift, what's left for hurricane season? The outlook for new tropical storms is very low. Conditions are simply not favorable for cyclone development. Strong cold fronts and wind shear are dominating, tearing apart any potential storms. The focus now is on heavy rain and flooding, not named storms. While another storm is possible before the season ends November 30th, chances are slim. The main threat remains the ongoing rain and the blast of cold air. All signs point to a quiet end for what's been an active hurricane season. The evolving weather pattern will also make sea conditions hazardous across the Atlantic and Caribbean. Elevated swells and increasing winds will create rough, dangerous seas, especially along key shipping and boating routes. Wave heights will build through the weekend, making navigation risky for small craft. Mariners in the eastern and western Caribbean should monitor marine forecasts and consider staying in port. Gusty winds and heavy rain will further reduce visibility and increase the risk of large waves. Coastal areas, especially near Jamaica and the coasts of Honduras and Nicaragua, may see minor flooding and erosion. Safety is paramount. Avoid unnecessary trips on the water. Expect rough seas to persist until the pattern settles late next week. What's driving this dramatic weather? A deep trough of low pressure over the eastern U.S. is pulling Arctic air south, creating a powerful cold front. This front acts like a wedge, forcing warm, moist tropical air to rise, fueling widespread rain in the Caribbean and Central America. The warm Caribbean waters provide plenty of moisture, while the stalled pattern keeps rain over the same areas for days. Unlike a hurricane, this system is broad and disorganized, with rain as the main impact. The sharp temperature contrast between north and south powers these late-season storms. It's a classic autumn setup, showing how weather in one region can trigger big changes thousands of miles away. This is why we're seeing such a dramatic shift now. As this weather system unfolds, preparation is key. In the Caribbean and Central America, focus on flood risks, review emergency plans, and stay updated on alerts. In North America, brace for a sudden cold snap, check heating systems, and prepare for snow, especially around the Great Lakes. Boaters should avoid hazardous seas and heed all marine warnings. The heaviest rain is expected Monday and Tuesday, so use the weekend to get ready. This system will impact millions. Know what to expect in your area and take practical steps to stay safe. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as conditions evolve. Stay tuned to your local forecast for the latest information.